the video of a stampede that occurred outside of an airline office in India that posted job openings. This is a perfect example of the ground reality of the employment situation in India. The truth is that with many political changes happening within the country and technological advancements around the world, it's only going to get harder to find jobs. For a second, let's just go back in time and understand how the career landscape has evolved over the years. You see, during the days of our grandparents, they usually took up one job and stuck with it for their entire lifetime. And also, they were only expected to have a limited skill set to perform these jobs. Say they were a teacher or a banker or a clerk, and that's pretty much all they did for their entire 40-year career. Also, at the time, there was a limited supply of jobs, and typically only one person in the household worked. Then came our parents' generation, where job switching happened, but still careers lasted very long. 10 to 12 years in one company with a single person per household working was still the norm, although the economy had started to expand. Today, the situation has completely changed because we switch jobs every 3 to 4 years, and the biggest shift is that now both people in the household have started to work, but the economy has not expanded enough to accommodate twice the number of job seekers. So essentially, the supply-demand equation has been disrupted where we have way too much demand for jobs and too less of a supply. Now, in addition to the supply-demand issue, the cost of living has also skyrocketed over the years, which means low-paying jobs aren't cutting it either. So, given this precarious situation, it is important for you to take the necessary steps to have a successful career. So, what can you do to increase your odds? First is to have a career strategy, and I cannot stress enough about how important this is. You should know where you're heading. Now, schools don't teach us about the world, which means we need to teach ourselves about how the world around us is changing. So, spend time understanding about the fundamental shifts happening in our society, like what the government is prioritizing, what sectors are in focus, etc. For example, the government is currently focusing a lot into the renewable energy transition space, which is why chemical engineering has gained a lot of popularity these days. Electronics manufacturing and pharmaceutical manufacturing is another pivot for India. So pay attention to these areas as it's likely that job opportunities will open up. Second is move abroad if you can. Just like how there's a supply-demand imbalance within India, there is also a supply-demand issue globally. Like Singapore and Australia need medical staff. So try to take a course in these countries and move where there's a shortage of skilled labor. Ireland needs commerce graduates and tech workers. You could consider moving there as well. And finally, upskill yourself. Now, if you cannot move abroad, then ensure that you have the right skill set to capitalize on the opportunities that are already available. Now, we know that the education system has not been updated in several decades and does not meet the needs of today's workforce. But if you are still relying on your degree to get you a job, then trust me, you will be left behind. So in addition to your degree, identify what is that exact skill set you need to find a job in your field and start working on it from school, so that when you graduate, you're ready to get hired. If you're looking for a place to start, the Indian government has launched a Skill India digital website where you can take different courses and upskill yourself for free. So like I explained earlier in the video, limited skill sets aren't enough anymore, and there are way too many people looking for jobs than there are jobs itself. So early career planning is very important to have an edge over others. Remember, career is not a sprint, it is a marathon. If you like this video, then hit the subscribe button for more career content.